Welcome to Silverstone for the second round of the Trofeo Abarth 500 GB with Gareth Howell, the man to beat after winning both races at an action-packed Oulton Park over the Easter weekend. Simonson gets it all wrong, all over the grass he goes. And the leader's lost it. Ben Winrow slides off the circuit, clatters into the Armco. That's a disaster for the leader. Gareth Howell wins at Oulton Park. Simonson lead. Whoop, somebody in all sorts of trouble there. Big slide for Paul Smith. Benny Simonson gets sideways. The leader's got it all wrong going into Old Horn. He's way up onto two wheels. Gareth Howell leads the race. It's going to be a double at Oulton Park for the former touring car racer. So Gareth Howell comes to Silverstone as the championship leader. The acrobatic Benny Simonson second. The consistent Charlie Butler-Henderson is third. Behind them, Josh Wakefield and Jason Greatrex are fourth and fifth. Ben Winrow is sixth. The grid forming for race 2 of the weekend. Race 1 having been won by a newcomer to these cars, and that was Stefan Hodgetts. He lines up on pole, Ben Winrow with him at the front of the grid. Gareth Howell and Charlie Butler-Henderson are on the second row of the grid. And the way that Stefan Hodgetts went in race 1 really does mark him out as the man to beat in this fourth race of the championship.
Hopefully we'll win again today. We've had a real good result yesterday. The car was real good, so we're just looking for the same kind of thing today. We just got to make a good start, get away, push really hard, and hopefully it seems like we've got a real quick race car, so we just keep calm and keep pushing, and hopefully we can break the toe and win the race.
It's not just Benny Simonson who can create acrobatics in the Abarth Championship after his two-wheeling at Oulton Park. Stunt aircraft displays here as well. And so the spectators in glorious weather at Silverstone getting ready for race 2 of the weekend. Stefan Hodgetts will be on pole position on the outside of the circuit here. Ben Winrow alongside him on the front of the grid, the former Clio Cup winner. The second row, you've got Gareth Howell and then Charlie Butler-Henderson, who was on the podium in the first race at Oulton. Row 3, Paul Smith and Josh Wakefield. We had a couple of rather badly damaged cars yesterday, one of which was being driven by guest driver John Gore. That's missing from the grid. Everybody else, though, is just about ready to go. Winrow versus Hodgetts at the front. Ben Winrow nearest us. The drivers look now towards the lighting gantry. 30 minutes of racing gets underway. Hodgetts makes the best start then as the cars accelerate down towards Copse for the first time. Hodgetts on the outside, the orange car, the orange and white car, and Ben Winrow tries to slide at the inside, and somebody's in the wars already. Going down towards Copse, Cassie Watson there, getting all sideways in the Luna racing car. So, out of Copse corner for the first time, the leaders are still side by side, and Ben Winrow is going to have to give way, or is he? Yes, Stefan Hodgetts takes over the lead, or does he? No, Winrow charges up the inside, muscles his way into the lead, and that forced the race leader, the erstwhile race leader, Stefan Hodgetts, out wide over the curb onto the dirt. So, Ben Winrow muscles his way into the lead of the race. In second place, it's Hodgetts. Onto the hanger straight they come. Out of Chapel Curve for the first time. He's 1400cc turbocharged above 500 the Seto course models. Down towards Stowe Corner for the first time. And Winrow it is now up front. In second place, going after him, is the man that led for the first couple of corners, at least, Stefan Hodgetts, and the rest of the field file through Stowe Corner behind them. Silverstone looking very different at the moment with all the building work that's gone on to accommodate MotoGP for this year and to build a new Grand Prix circuit as well. Down towards the end of the Vale through Club Corner. Club has been reprofiled as well, you'll see in a moment. Winrow it is that leads the way, but Hodgetts is going with him as the cars turn their way through that effectively double apex right-hander. Loads of runoff to the side of the circuit there. Not just for cars, but for bikes as well. And the two leaders now make their way up towards the conventional Abbey. Ben Winrow then sets the car up going into the Abbey chicane. He's still being chased, of course, by Stefan Hodgetts. And Ben Winrow leads the way now down to Bridge Bend. Last year, he only had occasional outings in the production BMW Championship. He raced here, in fact, in the Clio Cup at the World Series by Renault weekend. But it's good to have him back in a car full-time for this season. Former Caterham champion as well as a Clio champion is Ben Winrow. In second place, Stefan Hodgetts, hugely experienced driver. He's racing Seats with success, in Porsches, in single-seater racing as well. He's had a spell in touring car racing. And he was instantly on the pace, evinced by that win in the earlier race of the weekend here as well. Out of Luffield then, up towards the end of the lap they come. And still Winrow it is that leads the way, chasing after them in third place. Gareth Howell, of course, he's the double winner from Oulton Park, but at the moment not being able to do very much at all about the top two. Number 2, Paul Smith, goes through. His car having gained an awful lot more pain than it had at Alton Park. He's chasing after Josh Wakefield. So there is Gareth Howell turning his way through Copse. He's being chased in turn by Charlie Butler-Henderson. Charlie, who had a 4th in the first race of the weekend, going strongly now as well as Roger Green turns his way through, the motoring journalist, just ahead of Fiona Leggett there, number 82. The 2 race leaders hop their way now through the Beckett's S's, and if anything, you'd say Stefan Hodgetts is a little bit nearer this time to the back of Ben Winrow's car. He takes a tighter line through the final part of Beckett's, then it's left through Chapel Curve onto the Hanger Straight. Now, is this going to be an opportunity, perhaps, for Stefan Hodgetts with a better exit from Chapel Curve to have a go at Winrow down towards Stowe? He's almost hidden behind the race leader's car. Can he dive to the inside and make a move? Into the braking zone they come. Behind them still, 3rd is Howell, 4th is Butler-Henderson, 5th is Josh Wakefield, and then in 6th place you've got Paul Smith as the leaders turn through the Vale now. They're still nose to tail, and Ben Winrow, who knows how to win in one-make racing, don't forget, knows how to defend, keeps that race lead as they come to the end of the Vale, but Hodgetts looking for a way past him. Stefan's dad, Chris Hodgetts, a former double British touring car champion in the days of the multi-class system when he won with his Toyota Corolla. He comes now through Club Corner, that's Hodgetts Jr., and he's there on the tail of the race leader, Ben Winrow. Out of Club Corner, up towards Abbey. Now is Hodgetts near enough to have a go at the race leader? Not yet, he's not. Of course, in a 30-minute race around here, there is an element of looking after tyres. Hodgetts, though, gets a little bit sideways under braking, which won't necessarily do the rubber much good. And look at the gap suddenly rocket up coming out of Abbey. Much, much further away now is Hodgetts from the back of Winrow's car than he was going into Abbey. That tiny little mistake has compromised the run. He's going to have to work hard now to get back onto the tail of the Pyro Motorsport run car of Ben Winrow. The same team that runs, for example, the Jones twins that won the British GT Championship for Pyro Motorsport last year. So Winrow up at Luffield leads the way with a much tighter line there, clawing himself back into contention is Stefan Hodgetts. And we've had a bit of a shuffle, look lower down the order as well. In 81 there going through is Matt Shedd. Down he turns into the left-hander at Brooklands. 77 ahead up the road there is Roger Green, the motoring journalist. Then you've got Matt Shedd turning through behind him. Roger Green, to be fair, has done quite a lot of racing in different cars. We've seen him in the Volkswagen Racing Cup and in Radicals and things in the past. And Fiona Leggett heading for the pit lane. And this is possibly the reason why. Is there a problem? Well, she leaves the door wide open going into Priory. Up the inside goes Matt Shedd, gains the place. And Fiona Leggett, who had a misfire in the qualifying session at Alton Park and in race 1, arrives back in the pit lane. And once again, is very frustrated as Stefan Hodgetts once again is really pushing. Bounces wide, coming out of Beckett's through Chapel Curve now and onto the Hanger Straight, but he almost ran out of road completely there. He was up on the curb, just kicked up a bit of dirt. Once again, though, you see that gap is there. Ben Winrow looking a bit smoother, he's a bit more consistent, whereas Stefan Hodgetts is more gung-ho. And here, Benny Simonson under pressure, he gains a place on the inside, going past Cassie Watson up towards Beckett's, but Cassie straight away looking for a way back ahead. Benny Simonson, after the way that he went so impressively at Alton Park, has been a bit anonymous this weekend. He was only 6th in the first race. This battle he's having now is for 8th and 9th places, and so Benny Simonson just not able to display the same form, the same pace that he was at Alton Park, and I wonder how much of this is due to the fact that at Alton his elder brother Alan was racing in the GT races and was able therefore to pass on advice, and here at Silverstone, in the absence of his elder brother, Benny very much on his own and he's going to defend for himself. He's not doing a bad job, and this was a pretty gutsy move on the inside going up towards Beckett's, but we rather expected him to be a front runner this weekend, and it's just not happening for him. Josh Wakefield and Paul Smith going through together. This one of the closer battles at the moment, going out of Copse Corner. Paul Smith, who's returned to racing after many, many years away, right on the tail of Josh Wakefield now, look, going through Maggots. Former Sachs Max racer Josh Wakefield turning his way into Beckett's. If anything, these two are not that far adrift of the train of cars ahead of them either. You've got Gareth Howell and Charlie Butler-Henderson a bit further up the road, and that's really the target for them. Gareth Howell then now turning his way onto the Hanger Straight. Man that won both races at Alton Park, Charlie Butler-Henderson in the Advent Motorsport car chases after him. Down towards Stowe they come, the all-white car there with a checkered roof. The red and white checkered roof is that of CBH. Delighted to be back in a full season of racing after about 6 years away. And Paul Smith then dives up the inside of Wakefield going into Stowe, but it doesn't quite pay off for him. Through the right-hander they go, and Josh Wakefield, doing his first race on the Grand Prix circuit, keeps Paul Smith at bay. And Silverstone's changed quite a lot since Paul last raced round here. Gareth Howell also, having talked about Benny Simonson being a little bit anonymous this weekend, so Gareth Howell also struggling for pace relative to the top two. He very much looked the class of the field at Alton Park with those 2 race wins, as now Paul Smith tries to get a quicker run out of Club Corner and attack Wakefield on the run now up towards Abbey. The Trofeo Abarth 500 GB, a new championship for this year. It's got a very varied calendar supporting Formula 3 as it did in Cheshire, Formula 2 here, the FIA Formula 2 Championship. The next two races in mid-May support the British Superbike Championship, no less, at Cadwell Park. So the drivers get to perform in front of a variety of audiences. They race at the DTM weekend at Brands Hatch as well. Josh Wakefield then comes out of Bridgebend, and there is Paul Smith, not quite as near as he was a corner or two back, but he's still shadowing his every move. Down they come now towards Brooklands. Wakefield versus Smith. Into the braking area comes Paul Smith. The Mardi Gras run car turning its way up now towards Luffield. Mardi Gras Motorsport, one of the most experienced one-make teams around, one of the most successful as well, with a pedigree that traces its roots back to the days of Renault 5 turbos pretty much, and that was in the mid-1980s. Up through Woodcote Corner then now comes number 45, Josh Wakefield. It was Mardi Gras that took Andy Priaulx as an example to success in every race in the Renault Spider Cup the year Andy won it. And now Smith does get the run, he does go to the inside coming down towards Copse Corner, tries to level with Josh Wakefield, but he can't quite do it. He got a toe coming out of Woodcote, but he didn't have the grunt to stay right up alongside it, so Josh Wakefield hangs on to the place. This is for 5th. Charlie Butler-Henderson in the Glyn Hopkin backed car is 4th ahead of them. Gareth Howell is 3rd, still 2nd. You've got the man that won race 1 this weekend, Stefan Hodgetts, and the race leader heading towards us now. The orange and white car is that of Ben Winrow. Down they come towards Stoke Corner, and still there's that gap obvious between Ben Winrow and in 2nd place Stefan Hodgetts. It's a big, big gap between them, and in 3rd place Gareth Howell, double winner at Alton Park. Butler-Henderson is there in 4th place, and behind CBH you've got Josh Wakefield, and then to round out the top 6 is Paul Smith. But at the moment Ben Winrow looking very, very strong indeed. Is he going to be able to score a maiden win within the Trofeo Abarth 500? Find out after the break.